Hello, and welcome back to episode 10 of Regina the Telephone Farmer, the podcast where we bring you real stories, real solutions, and the real hustle behind remote farming in Africa. I'm your host, Diana, and today we're digging into one of Kenya's most valuable and misunderstood crops, that is pyrethrum, a small flower but with huge potential. With me is our very own Regina, the woman managing it all from a distance. Welcome, Regina.
Hi, Diana, and hi to all our listeners. Karibu sana. I am excited for today's topic because pyrethrum has taught me a lot. Not just about farming, but about patience, about strategy, and about value.
Let's begin with the basics. Regina, what exactly is pyrethrum and why are so many farmers talking about it again?
Great question, Diana. Pyrethrum is a daisy-like flower, but unlike regular daisies, it contains a natural chemical called pyrethrin, which is used in making organic insecticides. Kenya used to lead globally in its production, and now the government is actually reviving it through the county-level support, especially in Nakuru, Nyandarua, Meru, and some parts of Western Kenya.
So it's not just a pretty flower?
No, it's actually a big business. 1 acre of pyrethrum seedlings can produce up to 1.6 million plants. If you sell these seedlings at just about 3 shillings each, that's about 4.8 million shillings in revenue. You just need certified seeds and patience.
That's incredible. But you mentioned certified. What does that involve?
You need approval from KEFIS and AFA and your county government. You must also prove that your seed source is legitimate, ideally from PPCK, basically Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya. Make sure you keep your receipts because they will be asking for those documents whenever they visit your farm.
Let's get into the money side. What's the cost of starting a pyrethrum nursery?
Here is a breakdown, Diana, for 1 acre. So the seed cost for 20 kilogram, which will be enough for 1 acre, is about 2,400 Kenya shillings. We are talking about 20, so you multiply that, you get about 48,000 Kenya shillings for just the seeds. And then you do the land prep. This includes the beds, irrigation setup, labor. You want to budget about almost up to 100,000 to 150,000 Kenya shillings. Don't forget about the shade nets, which is very crucial tools you require during the planting. So include other costs like transport. So maybe just add about 30,000. Your total will be roughly up to 200,000 Kenya shillings to start.
That's a heavy investment for many farmers. Is it really worth it?
Yes, it is. If you treat it like a business, the seedlings alone can give you 3 to 5 million in revenue, depending on your buyer. But this isn't fast money though. From the moment you put your seed to the ground to the moment it germinates to where you are actually able to sell is 5 to 6 months. If you are doing the flowers, you transplant these seedlings and the flower harvesting will start about an year later. So 1 year later, you will start picking flowers. And actually, it will be even more in the second year. And once you start picking flowers, you pick your flowers every 2 weeks.
Okay, Regina, what about after planting? Is it easy to maintain?
Yes and no. Yes, because you already have your setup. Yours is just to maintain. So it needs weeding, watering, and harvesting and drying. But it is not labor intensive like vegetables, but flowers can be delicate. So you have to harvest these flowers every 2 to 3 weeks. You have to dry them correctly also.
Let's be honest. What are the toughest parts of pyrethrum farming?
Here is my truth. Germination is very sensitive. You need proper shade and moisture balance. I would definitely suggest if this is your first time, make sure you have technical support from the Pyrethrum company itself. Sometimes you can be visited by fungal infection. These are common if you overwater. Another challenge will be regulatory delays, especially when you're waiting for approvals. Sometimes it takes weeks or even months. Not all areas have processors nearby. So make sure you do your homework before you start or before you get into it. Have a contract. Don't plant blindly. Make sure you have a good contract of the seedlings and even the flowers if you're going to produce the flowers. Not very common, but sometimes it can be a challenge is theft or poor management, especially for remote farmers. Make sure your systems are right. Make sure you have trained your management, your employees.
How do you handle that as a telephone farmer?
Diana, this has been a lot of lessons learned, but I have insisted on saying systems. Make sure you have systems in place. I've mentioned in the past that we have an HR personnel who helps us a lot. So it keeps clear roles and it monitors progress on our behalf. We also have video updates that we monitor through them. We also have trained our staff to show us the receipts, like as it is. We want to know when we harvest, how much kilograms did you harvest before we release the money to pay the casual laborers? We want to know how much. So what did you weigh? Show us your weight scales. And we also do a lot of audits, of course, and it is doable, but not passive.
So let's talk about your returns on your investment. So how does the money actually come in?
There are 3 ways as a pyrethrum farmer that you can make money. Number 1 is selling seedlings. This is quickest return. Like I said, it takes about up to 6 months for you to grow the seedlings and to be ready to sell. But once you start selling, you actually make money, especially if you have readily available markets. I would definitely encourage for you to get a contract if you are planning on doing this. Be contracted by larger farms. Selling dried flowers is also a good way of making money from the pyrethrum. If you speak to any local farmers, they will tell you this is better than doing corn, this is better than doing coffee, this is better than doing tea, because you harvest your flowers every 2 to 3 weeks. You sell them per kilograms, and based on how you maintain your crop is how your pyrethrin contents will be rich, and that's how you are paid. Kilogram is between 300 and 400 Kenya shillings based on your pyrethrin content. This is a good way of having a sustainable money income for your family. The third one is bulk growing for contracts, where PPCK or other cooperatives buy your produce regularly. So those 3 ways.
Okay, Regina, any tips to avoid losses?
Yes, this is very important. Dry your flowers to the right moisture level, below 10%. Wet or moldy flowers get rejected or paid less. Also, avoid middlemen when possible. Partner with certified processors directly. One of the certified processors is Categra, and they are everywhere in pyrethrum growing places, and also you can sell it directly to PPCK.
Regina, speak to that farmer listening who is scared to take the first step.
Dear farmer, this is me speaking from my heart. You don't need 10 acres to succeed. Start with what you have, even a quarter of an acre. Before you start, I encourage you, like we did, visit other farms, ask questions, and take farming as a serious business. You will succeed. That's how we started. We visited other farmers. We visited seedling growers. We asked questions. We attended seminars whenever we had opportunity. And we began that way with no background in agriculture, but just curiosity, trust, and a notebook. And that's how we rolled. Now we are supplying seedlings and we are processing flowers and we are enjoying it. So I know you can do it.
That's great. That's powerful, Regina. Before we close, could you give us 5 quick tips for starting out with pyrethrum?
Very good. Here are my 5 tips, and I will go straight to the point. Tip number 1, use certified seed from PPCK or approved vendors like Categra. Number 2, prepare soft nursery soil. No hard clumps. It will not work. Make sure your soil is your seedbed is raised and your soil is soft. Use shade nets to protect seedlings in early stages. That is very, very important. Water lightly every day, not too much. Remember, too much watering will cause mold or fungal infection. And number 5, harden seedlings before transplanting to avoid shock. Basically, what we did, we followed every instructions. When we first started, we had technical guys coming to the farm to assist us. And our first seedlings that we had was successful, except the fact that we had a little bit challenges with the natural calamities. I spoke about the flooding, but all the seedlings germinated very well because we followed these steps. And like I said, we had technical support that came to the farm and guided us. So make sure if you are not very knowledgeable, they are available. Speak to someone who has this knowledge and let them guide you and help you.
Thank you, Regina. And that's it for today's episode of Regina the Telephone Farmer podcast. What a journey into the world of pyrethrum. Our next episode is all about potato planting, from choosing the right seed to preparing the land and avoiding common mistakes. If you've been thinking about growing potatoes or want to boost your harvest, you don't want to miss it.
Asanteni sana. And remember, whether you are on the ground or miles away, you can still farm and make it work with the right plan, the right team, and the right mindset.
Until next time, this is Diana.
And this is Regina. Keep planting, keep planning, and keep pushing. You've got this. Thank you very much. We are at 99 subscribers. I'm looking forward to having the 3 digits. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing, and thank you for encouraging other telephone farmers to join us so that we can learn together. Stay blessed. We love you. And thank you, Regina, the Telephone Farmer podcast. Bye-bye.